Hey, less lethal people, good morning. So I'm very excited to be doing this today. I just received something about a half an hour ago, and I have a new chemical projectile to test out. And I believe I'm the first one to test these out or do a video on them. And I'm really excited about it. I was really excited for like 2 days now. They were supposed to come yesterday, but it got delayed and it got here today. So what I have here is Vulcan, the same company that produces our M17 and a lot of other good stuff, came out with a 68 caliber liquid OC round, and it's 10% OC. What's different than that is most of our powdered rounds, such as Duke, and then most of them have 5%. Unless you're using the tear gas, the CS, this has 10% CS. But most of the PAVA or OC rounds that are out there have 5%. How that translates when we use the liquid, I'm not too sure. I find it very interesting, and I'm not that I'm skeptical. I'm wondering how these are going to perform in higher joule markers. I'm assuming they're not going to be really good in a higher joule marker, simply because they're completely different than a regular Pepperball. They are kind of rubbery and jelly-like. I'm not sure. I've never had any experience with paintball. I'm not a paintballer. But when I compare them to a regular Pepperball or a CS ball, if you look here, I'll show you on the thing, I can drop that and it's very hard. It doesn't bounce. These bounce like those rubber Super Balls. So it kind of feels like a rubber Super Ball. And they are a little bit rubbery and squishy. So I'm not sure how they're going to perform in a higher joule marker. I think they're going to perform very well, though, in a lower joule marker. And I'm only guessing and speculating here. This year, Vulcan came out with a new launcher for paintballing. It's a modular launcher, and it's called the Ripsaw. And it's kind of like the Tippmann Chronos and all those other things, but you could modularly build it. And I'm assuming it does not have such high power. You can only adjust it a little bit, or maybe put a bumper. I would like to get my hands on one. I'm assuming that these would be very good for self-defense in a paintball marker or a lower joule marker. But we're gonna do some testing here to see in another video. We're gonna start with the less lethal pistol launchers. So I have the two that I'm going to be testing them in, which will be obviously the Salt Supply S2, which is my favorite, and a lower joule Burner HD. I'm really nervous about doing it in the burner. Now, because these are rubbery and squishy, I'm also a little concerned. I don't know how they're going to fare over time inside one of these magazines. I don't know, once the spring is compressed, if there's going to be so much pressure that over time it might deform this. I'm not sure. And if it were to crack, having a liquid inside of your marker is going to be far worse than having powder, I think, because liquid can dry up and cake and get sticky. So I'm not sure if it's going to be great for the burner, but the first thing we're going to see is if it cycles through the burner. I think it's going to be very good in the S2, just because of the way I've taken this apart and the way the magazine is. It really, worst thing that can happen is you'd have to clean out your barrel. With the burner, it's going to be, you have a lot of things going on down here, and if you could see, it's very hard. But if I push my barrel back, you could see down there that the barrel moves down, and there's a lot of moving parts where the projectile is. I could be wrong. It might be great in the burner, especially that it's a Burner HD and it only has like 7 joules. I think if you have an unmodified marker, these would probably be really good. Now, looking at the liquid inside of here before I open it, I was trying to find out where this is made. It looks very similar to that of what's used in the JPX or the Kimber Pepper Blaster. If that is the case, that chemical is extremely potent and devastating. That would make these extremely potent and devastating. We're going to find that out when we test it in our next video. That being the case, it wouldn't matter if you had a low joule marker or not. I'm hoping it's good in high joule markers too. I'm also thinking, in conjunction with each other, using a liquid and using a powder. I know if I hit you with the powder and then I hit you with the liquid, or vice versa, this is going to make that powder stick to you. A lot of problems we have is sometimes the wind takes the powder and it blows a good portion of it away and you're not covered in the full amount. If you have the liquid on you and then you get hit with the powder, it's going to stick to you. So using these in conjunction, especially a high-powered pepper and a 10% OC and 10% tear gas together, if they're that good, this is going to stop somebody 100%. Nobody is going to want to get hit with both of these. It's going to be devastating. This will ruin probably 24 hours of their day, because even after they clean themselves, every time they wash, they're going to reactivate it. So this might be a phenomenal new product. Reading the packet, I can't say I've read all the other packets out there, but I will say there is a warning on here, and my eyesight is not that great, but there's titanium dioxide in here, which is known to the state of California to cause cancer. A lot of things have things that are known to the state of California to cause cancer. I wonder if they put a warning on the migrants that are running around the street, if they have a warning on them that they're liable to kill somebody or seriously do damage. They should, every migrant that comes through there, they should put a warning on them when they come in, warning, this migrant may do damage. I'm sorry, I'm going off on a tangent here. You know, I don't mean to be sarcastic, and I don't mean to offend anybody's political views, but they're so worried about a little bit of titanium dioxide, they're letting the people run amok in San Francisco. All right, we're going to put warnings on them. So I also looked at how these fit the barrel. They are really, they're pretty darn snug in there. So they're going to come out of here, especially in the burner. They fit really, really nicely in the barrel. And now you can see I even got it in there. I'm going to have that. I popped it out. Thank God I didn't pop it, break it in my hand. It's a gamble. We're going to see. So in part 2, we're going to test these. And how we test them is we don't shoot people with them, because that's not a good idea. There is a proper way to test these, and I will show you when we go outdoors and we set up a target and see if they function. If they do function, I'm getting myself a bunch more of these, because I think these are, if it's what I think it is, and it's like what's in the JPX and they're made overseas, like in Switzerland or wherever, and it is that type of a chemical, it's going to be devastating. And what's even nicer is, because it's liquid and rubbery, it's going to hurt when it hits you. You know, you're going to have physical pain from this. So let's see. I'm excited about it. I couldn't believe when I saw it come out the other night. If I do like them, I'm going to get myself a bunch more to keep on hand. I will not be wasting these. I will probably only shoot one out of each marker for the time being to see what it does. And I may even do it with a tear gas to see how the spread of the powder and where it gets stuck on there. I think using 2 of them together is going to be devastating. So that's it for right now. And I'll catch you in a little bit outside when we test them.